This time on The Gadget Show.
Jason and I go head-to-head in a phone app battle.
Ow! Who can design the most popular and most successful application for a mobile phone and get the most downloads?
A big challenge, but with quite an extraordinary result for one of us.
I love it.
Really?
Yeah.
This is going to win.
Also in this show, Danny Wallace and John find out firsthand just how important modern tech is when it comes to keeping our cars on the road.
I want this man arrested.
And Radio 1 DJ Greg James helps Otis choose the best headphones you can buy.
Yeah, that I heard.
Welcome to The Gadget Show.
On this week's show, it's one of those challenges that Susie and I get dealt once in a while that involves making something and then putting it out there to be judged in front of a world audience. It's rather scary. We had to create our own mobile phone apps.
Yes, there was literally no place to hide. This could be a colossal embarrassment for either one of us or both of us. We were putting ourselves out there for literally anybody to have a pop at. You know, for me, it was like going out to the high street, taking off my clothes and standing there naked and going, do you like what you see?
Can we do that? Because I'm thinking maybe next week we could do that. Do you know what? If that was the challenge, I'd vote for you.
Can we move on now?
So you'd win, so maybe we should do it.
No, I think we've established quite well that this challenge could be incredibly embarrassing.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, however...
Were you thinking about something else,
Yes,
then?
I was. However, the actual result is astonishing because one of us, we don't just succeed, we go way beyond success into the stratosphere. Our challenge began at an interactive restaurant in central London, where we'd been given a selection of smartphones and been told to await our instructions, although we didn't expect them to arrive via John Bentley on our tabletop. Hang on a second.
Susie and Jason, your task is to develop and release a brand new mobile phone application. The winner will be the person whose app receives the most downloads in a month.
Wow.
You're free to use any app store you wish. Good luck.
Brilliant. What a great idea.
So we've got to build a phone app.
Yeah, we can choose any app store that we want, any platform.
And then we've got a month to get as many downloads as possible.
Brilliant.
An app is an application for a mobile. It could be a game that you download and use on your handset, or a utility, which is a functional, useful app. Most of us wouldn't have even known what an app was 18 months ago. But now there's an app for almost everything, from paper tossing and keepy-uppy to detailed stock market guides and eye tests.
You like this one? It's called Eye Steam. Look.
Oh, yeah.
OK, just rub the steam off with your finger, look.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It's me.
So simple, isn't it?
That's what's great about it. So simple. This is another one that's simple, look. Remember the old-fashioned dialer?
Yeah.
Rotary dialer?
Brilliant. Have a go.
Yeah, and you can actually feel it working in your left hand.
Really nice. All the major smartphones host their own mobile app stores, and there are some great apps available through Google's Android Marketplace, Nokia's Ovi Store, and BlackBerry App World. But Apple's App Store for the iPhone was the first to launch and is still the market leader. Having notched up an incredible 2 billion downloads, it was clear to us that to maximise our exposure and get our app in the top 3 downloadable app charts, we'd have to target the iPhone. There are more than 65,000 apps available on the store, from social networking to multiplayer games such as Real Racing, where you can sync up 2 phones or play online against your mates. Go! And they're off! Oh, look at that!
Where are you?
I'm just behind you, I think.
Oh, there it is, the overtake. Not even that.
Isn't it responsive? Isn't it brilliantly executed, this game?
It's actually really simple to use as well.
With so many competitors out there, our efforts would really need to stand out, and we both had ideas on how to do that.
OK, I think it's best to go down the gaming route because 9 out of 10 of the most popular apps last year were games.
Yeah.
So simple games, that's what I reckon. Something like this, Face Fighter, where I can knock you out.
That's my face.
I know, look at the bruising.
Ow! Ow! I feel those punches.
Knocked your teeth out.
You see, I'm with you with the games. Clearly, they are hugely popular, but I also think in my own experience of apps that some of my favourites are just utilities, just lifestyle utilities, things that you know, do a service. I mean, I've got a great example here, Sue. Urban Spoon uses the GPS functionality of the iPhone to show you restaurants in your immediate vicinity.
OK.
Right? So what I love is you give it a shake, look, and it comes up with your location, which right now is Soho. Randomly, it's come up with Thai food, and then you set the price, and it suggests, Busaba Ethai. I can't pronounce it, but apparently it's just down the road.
OK, so you want to do something useful?
Yeah, something that kind of enhances your life.
Yeah, I think actually that's improved my day.
So, as Susie headed off to come up with a killer game, I was convinced I could come up with a great utility. I just needed to figure out what it was and how to do it. You see, what's great about this new world of apps is that just about anyone with an idea can have a go, thanks to the SDK or the software development kit provided by Apple. As long as you've got a little bit of technical knowledge, or at least some friends with technical knowledge, you can realise your big idea. A case in point is Problem Halved, a top-selling social networking app which was the brainchild of Bin Man, Rob Shoesmith. How you doing, man?
Not too bad, thank you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, dude. So, is this your app?
It is, yeah.
Oh, fantastic. OK, Problem Halved.
Yep.
Love the way it looks. Tell me about it.
Yeah, basically what it is, it's a social networking app, and it's an agony aunt-style themed application. So basically, if you've got a problem, you can log onto the application and post the problem, and what happens is fellow users of the application worldwide can log on and try and halve your problem for you.
Right, so you get this global community of iPhone users
Yep.
that are trying to solve the problem.
Yep, exactly.
I'm so inspired, Rob, really. I'm inspired by your application. I'm inspired by you, man, honestly. So social networking, yeah? Interesting.
I headed for South Birmingham College to meet up with some avid iPhone gamers who I hoped would help me decide what sort of things I should include in my killer game app.
If it looks good, you know, I'm going to buy it, you know.
Leaderboards and high scores, yeah, definitely.
Leaderboard and high scores.
It's always fun to beat your best friend and challenge them to beat you.
I think that'd be really cool if you can build your own character.
You should be able to take like a photo of yourself and then stick it on the body.
Yeah.
Well, I'm quite famous for riding motorbikes, so let's say it was a bike game.
I think that'd be really cool. That would definitely catch my eye in that.
I love apps. I've spent loads of money on apps.
That's bad, isn't it?
It is a bad thing.
But some people have made serious amounts of money, haven't they?
Prism, one of the first games to appear on the iPod Touch and iPhone. It's a great game, a little bit like a kind of like remodelled Tetris idea. Uses the accelerometer functionality, so you can move it around. Colourful, simple. He made a lot of money.
He did. In the first 2 months, Steve Demeter, who invented that, made something like £150,000 and gave up his day job and opened his own company.
Incredible.
Incredible. Sadly, though, we had to make a free download.
We did, but we wanted some of the success, though, didn't we, Suze? We just wanted a slice of the action.
We wanted to try and get in that chart.
The question is, did we manage it? Right now, though, it's time for a short break.
But after that, John gets Danny Wallace to try driving an Audi supercar with all the high-tech driver aids switched off.
That's quite quick.
Will Danny and the Audi make it round the track in one piece? Stick around to find out.
Oh, this is wrong.
Welcome back. Now, I want to talk to you about cars. I have to say I'm almost as fond of cars as I am of gadgets. Of course, cars are actually lovely big gadgets in their own right, but what's fascinating about modern cars is the extraordinary amount of gadgetry built into them aimed at making them safer and easier to drive. But how necessary is all that tech? To find out, I got myself a supercar, a clever bloke called Danny Wallace, and a lot of tarmac.
We were using Audi's latest R8 V10 supercar programmed with the latest stability and traction control technology. Danny would first learn how to drive round the track at speed with all the technology switched on. Then we planned to see how he'd cope when it was switched off. It would be an experiment that would give us an insight into how effective these gadgets are. To start with, Danny was shown what the car could do by professional racing driver Steve Warburton. The R8's powered by a 5.2-litre V10 engine, developing 518 brake horsepower, around 4 times that of an average family saloon, yet it weighs about the same.
So how fast are we going now?
155.
It's impossible.
160.
We're going to start time travelling.
170.
It has permanent four-wheel drive to distribute all that power evenly, and the engine's mounted in the middle of the car to give it good balance. But we were most interested in the electronic stability and traction controls. These systems automatically monitor how well the wheels are gripping the road. If any wheel starts to spin or skid, power's automatically reduced until the wheel starts to grip the road again and the driver regains control.
I will need to see your licence at some point.
What, dog licence or a TV licence?
The car driving, look, we're going to hit up. No, all right, good. Whoa! That's good. The brakes work.
Help?
I want this man arrested.
Is it?
Now,
really?
yeah. I think we broke some kind of law. It was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm sweating and bruised.
Danny's stomach was now fully churned, so it was time to start the experiment. First, he'd be driving the R8 with all its clever electronic driver aids switched on, including the anti-lock braking system, or ABS.
And brakes.
This detects if the car is skidding and controls it by releasing, then reapplying the brakes up to 15 times a second.
At the moment, you're in the corner with a brake on, which means the car isn't stable. But the gadgetry on this vehicle is putting you right.
After just a few laps, Danny was up to speed, literally.
145 miles an hour.
That's quite quick. Hello.
Hello. Well, that looked really fast and smooth from out here. How was it from in there?
It felt terrifying at certain times, but no, it felt great as well. And luckily, you know, Steve here to tell me when to brake, which apparently is important. One of the little tips I've picked up. Yeah, I think Steve was very impressed.
Steve, were you really impressed?
He's doing a good job.
Well, no, use words like impressed.
I'm very impressed.
Well, that was the fun bit. Now for the potentially disastrous bit.
Right.
We're going to switch off all the driver aids on the car and send you around again.
I don't need computers, John. I've got raw talent. Back me up, back me up. Oh, yeah.
And when I said we were switching everything off, I meant everything. Audi had sent a team of engineers along to help us, and because this had never been done before, they'd had to get permission from the highest level at their HQ in Germany. And please don't think of trying this with your own car. Simply pulling out a fuse could stop the thing working. The first thing we're going to disable is the electronic stability control. Next thing to go is going to be the traction control. Then there's the brakes.
Right. I need brakes.
Well, you can have brakes to a degree, but the thing is what we're going to disable is the ABS. All off.
Air conditioning?
Well, that's allowed. Finally, after 20 minutes' work, the car was ready, if that's what you can call it, because no one quite knew what was going to happen. The only driver aid now working in this 518 brake horsepower supercar was the steering wheel.
The dashboard is telling us to drive slowly to the nearest workshop.
Danny was on the track for just 2 seconds before he discovered that without traction control, you don't have any...
Whoops.
Well, traction.
Wow! Whoa! And why not? End up on the grass, it's fun.
Traction control reduces the power to any wheel that starts spinning when you're accelerating hard, and Danny's 100-mile-an-hour spin clearly showed what happens without it.
Do you often hold a man's hand while in a car, in a field?
As did his attempts to get himself back off the grass and onto the track.
Oh, this is wrong.
Let's go. In a straight line.
Normally, the sensors of the electronic stability control would detect a slide and automatically reduce power to the wheels to control it.
Whoa!
But as you can see, when it's switched off, even a slight bend becomes impossible.
Oh, it's fun being able to mess about with a sports car.
By now, the car's 3,000-pound tyres were practically in shreds, and with no gadgetry to keep him on the straight and narrow, Danny finished them off.
Keep on. Keep going.
And that is how you drive a car.
Oh, a few hairy moments there for Danny Wallace, wasn't
Yes,
there?
indeed.
But what it did show, I thought, was just how good electronics are on a car when the car's on the limit.
And it's not just on the limit in a supercar on a track, because most of that electronic stuff is now in ordinary cars as well, and it really does stop you having a crash.
Good stuff. Right, now we want your help to find the Gadget Show's Gadget of the Decade.
Yeah, at the end of this series, in a special show, we'll be looking back over the most important decade in the history of gadgetry and choosing our Gadget of the Decade, the outstanding bit of technology that has defined the last 10 years.
We want you to go to our website at 5.tv/Gadget Show and vote for your favourite in 5 different categories.
Best phone of the decade.
Best music gadget of the decade.
Best entertainment gadget of the decade.
Best photography gadget of the decade.
Best computing gadget of the decade.
And then finally, we want you to make your choice for the big prize, the overall Gadget of the Decade.
So go on, get online and make sure your favourite gets chosen.
Right, now it's time for the Wall of Fame.
This is the Wall of Fame, where truly iconic gadgets get to hang out for a while and just bask in their general glory.
And in just a few minutes, another name will be added to the list of greats that have already earned their place up there.
This week, it's a computer game shootout between a small rotund plumber and a very fast hedgehog. It's Sonic versus Mario.
Who'd have thought the most successful character in video games ever is a short, fat plumber who wears dungarees, fights turtles and saves princesses? Ladies and gentlemen, it's the amazing, the incredible Super Mario! He first appeared in the 1981 arcade hit Donkey Kong as a carpenter called Jumpman, but Nintendo felt they needed a friendlier name for an American audience. They were brainstorming a new name when their landlord, a chap called Mario Segal, burst in, demanding overdue rent. After a heated argument, Segal left, but his name stayed, and Mario was born. Mario. Yeah, we've got it! Mario's appearance was mainly due to the graphical limitations of the 80s. A hat so that they didn't have to bother animating his hair when he jumped. A nice big nose so you can see which direction he was travelling in. And bright white gloves so you could see his arm movements on low-res screens. And he was a plumber. Yeah. Actually, don't know why. It's just quite random. In 1983, Mario starred in arcade games alongside his brother Luigi. They proved hugely popular, and the Super Mario Bros. Series for the Nintendo Entertainment System soon followed. It's still the second best-selling video game of all time, behind Wii Sports, with over 40 million copies sold. They're not fast and furious like a lot of other games. Actually, the gameplay is quite slow. What they are is incredibly inventive, vivid, colourful and humorous. To date, Mario has appeared in over 200 games and a feature film. He's won 7 Guinness World Records and earned Nintendo billions, selling everything from soft toys to shampoo. This Italian-American plumber is so big that in the 1990s, more American schoolchildren recognised him than they did Mickey Mouse. He took gaming to a whole new level. Oh, there you go, there's your spanner. He then finished that level and took it to a whole other, newer level. I think Mario fully deserves to be on the Wall of Fame. And what's more, he'd be brilliant, because if there was a leak in the studio, he'd be able to fix it with his plumbing skills. You finished yet? Job done.
Mario is a nice guy, what can I say? He's just a bit dull and sedentary. Computer games need to be fast and frenetic. And preferably feature a really cool creature. The computer games character that should go on the Wall of Fame is, of course, Sonic the Hedgehog. In 1991, Sega launched the Sega Mega Drive to go up against Nintendo's SNES. Nintendo had Mario, so Sega needed their own super gaming talisman. They hit the jackpot with a spiky blue hedgehog called Sonic. It was game on. The gameplay was fast and furious. It was all about trying to see if you could do stuff quickly and then seeing if you could do it even quicker. And all this took place amid a beautifully designed backdrop. And the gameplay was simply gorgeous. Sonic was blue to match Sega's logo, and his shoes were based on Michael Jackson's boots, although I can't see that, can you? Originally, he was designed to have fangs and a human girlfriend named Madonna. Could you imagine? It would have been terrible. Thanks to Sonic, the Sega Mega Drive was a massive success. 50 million Sonic titles have been sold worldwide, and Sega are still churning them out with the latest titles available for the DS, Wii, and PS3. Sonic has featured in episodes of The Simpsons, starred in his own animated series, and in 1998 was voted the UK's most popular video game character. He even ranked above Mario. He's on Facebook and Twitter, and the Sonic Phone app has been downloaded to more than 8 million phones since its launch in 2006. Sonic may not have outsold Mario, but he definitely outplayed him, running at the speed of sound and tackling evil nemesis such as Dr. Robotnik. Careful, Sonic! Oh. John, please put him up on the wall, if anything, to keep him off our dangerous roads.
Utterly fascinating. As ever, a couple of questions. Jason, I've got nothing against overweight Italian plumbers, but do they really deserve a place on our Wall of Fame?
What do you think, Mario, yeah? Absolutely, John! We're talking about a dynasty that has grown since its 1981 debut in Donkey Kong, no less, one of the greatest video games ever made. This character and his lovely brother, he's not just huge in this country, he's huge worldwide. The Mario Brothers? Come on, John!
And Otis, Sonic's a very likeable character, but he hasn't really had a recent hit.
That's because everybody is making games to play with your grandma. It's great if you want to play alongside an old man using Mario. Sonic was put on this planet for those people who want to play games alone. He's got attitude, man. Put him up there. That's my man, Sonic, with the spikes.
This is extremely difficult. And they're both here, which is worrying. But I have made a decision.
Good man.
And it is... Mario! Because he has really kept up to date. He's had a string of recent game successes like Mario Kart, Mario Galaxy. He's actually made the move from 2D to 3D. And for all those reasons, he really deserves his place on the Gadget Show's Wall of Fame.
All right, high five. Yeah!
Right, time for another short break now, but after that...
Otis and Radio 1 DJ Greg James choose the best headphones you can buy.
Can you hear me when I'm talking to you?
I can't hear you.
Okay.
And our challenge continues as Jason and I design our phone apps and launch them to an expectant world.
Superb. An expectant world that seemed to absolutely love one of them. But which one? Ladies and gentlemen, place your bets.
Welcome back. Now it's time for a nice little bit of Otis.
Oh, thanks, Suze. This week's top 5 is headphones, as tested by Radio 1's Greg James and myself.
Does that mean you had to take your top off?
No, we're testing headphones, Susie.
OK.
We got together 31 pairs of headphones ranging from £25 to £600 and asked big-haired Radio 1 DJ Greg James to award them points for sound quality, noise elimination and comfort.
You want substance over style, basically.
OK. The ones with the highest scores would then determine our top 5. We started with comfort. Marks out of 10, the higher the score, the snugglier they fit over or on top of your ears.
OK, easy.
It's really annoying trying to listen to your music if your headphones are too loose or too tight on your ears.
Yeah, I'd say an 8 for them.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of squeezage there, isn't there?
Technical term is squeezage.
Most pairs we tested rated quite highly.
Very comfortable.
I think these are an 8.5,
Yeah,
if not a 9. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And they feel quite, move ahead about a bit. They're quite
solid.
Yeah.
Another 8 there. The most uncomfortable pair were the visually challenged West Alp horns. Oh!
It's like someone's kind of sellotaped 2 decks of cards to my head. That's what it's like.
Just one pair got the full 10 out of 10.
They are like pillows.
They are, aren't they? The supremely comfortable Sony XB700s.
They're nice.
That's great. After trying out all 31 pairs, it was on to test 2. There's nothing more annoying than noise spilling through while you're trying to listen to your music. So for the second test, we've come out onto one of the busiest streets in London to test noise elimination. We'd chosen one of Greg's favourite tracks, Our Velocity by Maximo Park, to listen to. Turn it right up, Greg. Again, we marked all the headphones out of 10. Yeah, that I heard. I'm gonna give those a 9.
They are pretty good. I would say like an 8 for them.
Okay.
You can actually hear a lot more.
I can hear nothing but the music. And this time the results were highly impressive. Okay, Greg's in his own little world now because he can't hear anything. With 7 of our headphones getting the maximum score.
Out of 10, 10. Again, 10. Again, faultless.
10. Greg. Finally, we tested for sound quality by using 15 Step by Radiohead, a track recommended by the editor of What Hi-Fi as a perfect test.
Plug me in.
I'm going to turn you up as well.
Amazing bass. Now it's a better sound.
As this is the most important factor, we marked them out of 20.
A 1?
Let's give it a 13.
Just a great pair.
Oh, no. We were listening for good, clean sound that reproduced the full musical range and dynamics of the track.
Beefy. Quite tinny.
OK, I'm in the recording studio with Radiohead right now.
So good.
That's lovely. Finally, after assessing every pair, we totted up the scores to determine our top 5 headphones. At 5 are the Bayer Dynamic DT860s with 33 points out of 40.
They fit beautifully, and the sound was incredible.
At 4, the comfy Sony XB700 scored half a point more at 33.5.
Because they'd be good for a long car journey, maybe, and they'd also be good for in the club, if you're DJing as well.
At 3 are the foldable Ultrazone Pro 900s, which got 36 points out of 40.
You could use these in a radio studio. They're awesome, and they're not going to break. They're really sturdy.
At 2, the Bose on-ear headphones have the highest quality sound with the greatest portability.
Lightweight, they're portable, amazing build quality, great sound, and they're Bose, so you know they're going to last forever. They're brilliant.
But number 1 are the Denon AHD 5000s with a massive 37 points out of 40.
This is the Ferrari of headphones. It really is. The build quality is amazing.
So what do you think, Jason?
I think it sounds wicked. It's like being there, man.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm actually on stage.
Can I?
Really?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm in.
If you'd like to try these headphones, then you should possibly enter this week's competition because we're giving away not 1 pair, but 2 pairs of the Denon headphones. And that's not all. We're also giving away this high-end Denon Hi-Fi with 2 Boston Acoustics speakers. Together, this little set worth over £3,000. Yeah, and that's not all we're giving away. We're putting together a gorgeous pile of gadgets for all your gadget needs. Grab your phone, here comes the long list. Be quiet. I've switched it off like 10 seconds ago.
Yeah, we knew that.
As well as the 2 pairs of Denon AHD 5000. Welcome back, and I'm glad that you can join us because we have finally reached the moment of truth in this week's challenge.
Yeah, this week's challenge is all about Susie and I devising and creating our very own mobile phone applications. Mine is a social networking utility called Social Beacon.
Yeah, and mine is a game called Susie Perry's Biker Blast-Off.
Yeah, they've both been available on the iTunes store for download for 1 month. But now the challenge is over.
Yes, whoever has received the most downloads for their app will be deemed the winner of this week's challenge. And to judge is our resident referee, keeper of the stats, all-round babe magnet, the Silver Fox, John Bentley.
Amazingly flattering of you, but that's not important. What is important is who made the most successful and best app. And who better to judge them than the people who are going to use them, your target audiences.
I took Susie's Biker Blast-Off to a motocross event to see what real bikers made of the game, and headed off with Jason's Social Beacon to the London Twestival event, where avid tweeters tested out its social networking functions.
This is good, especially for being as it's free. It's a good game. Definitely get it. A really interesting first try at an app. Some really nice design features.
It looks cool. It's a good idea, but it's just a bit too fussy to use at the minute.
I think the gameplay is really good.
It's good use of the touchscreen and the motion controls on the iPhone as well.
I think it's a very good app for people who are too lazy to write their own status updates.
It's gone.
I haven't got an iPhone myself.
Oh, I'm on a good one. Oh, I'm on a good one.
I know loads of people that have got one, and I'll definitely be downloading this.
And I do like the function.
Amazing. So, there you go. Both the apps went down really well. Bikers loved your game, Susie. The Twitterati were impressed by your utility, Jason. So, a very good start. But what about the app experts? Well, yesterday I fired up my webcam and talked to a couple of blokes who know a thing or two about what it takes to create a successful app.
RJ Grunwald and Simon Oliver are 2 of the world's most successful apps designers. Grunwald developed the chart-topping Whoopee Cushion app, and Oliver is the man behind Rolando, one of the most successful app games ever. I started by asking them what they thought of Susie's Biker Blast-Off.
Really enjoyed the way that it used all the different aspects of the iPhone in terms of the control schemes.
One of those addicting games where you're like, all right, I got a C last time. Let's see if I can get it up to a B.
It was very, very straightforward. The controls are already clearly explained. The app started up quickly. There weren't too many menus to get straight into the game.
It's a lot of fun. It's a neat app and very well designed too.
So, a thumbs up for Susie, but what did they think of Jason's Social Beacon?
The Social Beacon, I think it's useful for me.
Yeah, no, I think it's definitely something that I have a lot of appeal.
There's no questions really how to use it. You look at it and you know what to do. It's very intuitive.
If you had to choose between the one and the other, which would you say was best?
As far as usefulness, I'd use the Social Beacon app a lot more.
Of the two, I think I'm going to have to go for Biker Blast-Off.
Well, there you go. Genuine praise from a couple of guys who really have made hugely successful apps.
I know. That's a massive compliment, actually, isn't it?
Definitely.
But of course, this challenge is all about the hard reality of download figures, and whoever has had the most downloads over the last month will win the challenge.
Here we go.
Now, Jason, you got off to a fairly decent start. And by
Hooray!
day 3, Social Beacon had made it into the top 20 free social networking chart.
Fantastic.
Oh.
But the real story was all about Susie's Biker Blast-Off, because on the same day, day 3, Susie's app reached number 11 in the overall free app chart. And incredibly, by day 5, it was number 1.
Yes!
Good, great.
The number 1 free app in Britain. But it wasn't over yet, Jason, because despite your lower overall chart position, your review rating was actually slightly higher than Susie's at this point. So was a comeback on the cards. Well, by the second week of the competition, Susie's app had fallen back down a bit in the charts.
Oh, a comeback!
Whereas, after a lot of talk on Twitter, Social Beacon had actually moved up to number 6 in the social networking chart. Now we know utilities are much slower growers than games.
Yeah.
So was this a tortoise and hare type situation where you're going to rush up and overtake Susie from behind? Huh? Well, no. Because in week 3, Susie's Biker Blast-Off went global!
Yay!
Incredibly, it reached number 8 in the US free download chart. But not only that, it reached number 1 in Germany and Switzerland, and even had 14 downloads in Kazakhstan.
Oh, fantastic.
Kazakhstan!
Susie app, big success, as they might well say in Kazakhstan, if only I could say it properly. Now, to the final result.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
let's look at the final sales chart. Jason, across the month, you managed a respectable 4,074
Hey, not bad.
downloads.
Quite good.
But I think it's fair to say you were completely, utterly and absolutely blown out of the global waters by Susie's Biker Blast-Off, which round the world was downloaded a staggering 1,214,764 times.
Wow!
Well
done. Amazing.
So, I declare Susie Perry the unquestionable winner of this challenge. Well done.
Oh, thank you very much. I must say thank you, though, to Mediatonic, who were just fantastic and helped with design and produce the app.
It's so well conceived and really, really playable. I've got to say a big thank you to my guys. You know, we really enjoyed making our app. But what I think's amazing about Biker Blast-Off is just that it captured the imagination of people that know nothing about us, that know nothing about you, the people in America and in Germany, and it's just gone bang.
Well, a really great experiment, I think. It was really interesting, fascinating stuff, wasn't it? Gosh, I'm absolutely gobsmacked. It's the end of the show.
That's it for this week. We'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Next time on The Gadget Show.
Otis and I face a gruelling wild challenge involving canoes, bikes, hiking, tiny tents.
You are kidding, right?
Massages and butlers. Yeah, OK. It isn't all gruesome, but it is all about the very best outdoor tech available.
That's great. All right, cows.
I test drive fantastically clever gadget cars in Switzerland.
And Dame Kelly Holmes helps John try out some brilliant interactive fitness tech.
You're catching me up now.
That's next week. But right now, remember to enter this week's fantastic competition. You could win every single one of the gadgets flying across your TV screen right now. Plus, an Italian supercar track day, where you'll get to drive some of the world's finest supercars. It's a prize fund worth nearly 20 grand. And with the chance of winning the lot, you'll need to know the answer to this question.
Where in France is the famous 24-hour car race held? A. Le Mans, B. Lyon, or C. Lille?
To enter, call 0904 1616 555 or text A, B or C to 63555. Or you can send your answer, name and contact telephone number on the back of a postcard or sealed envelope to Gadget Show 11, PO Box 46556, London N1 0WW. Calls cost £1.50 from a BT landline. Calls from other networks may vary and from mobiles will cost considerably more. Text costs £1.50 plus one message at standard network rates. For rules, go to 5.tv/win. Lines close at midday on Monday the 19th of October and 2 days later for postal entries. Goodbye. Good luck.